This is Mark and Charity's Coffee Podcast.
Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast, September 20th today. I don't know which number
Usually
this
the
one
first day
is.
of fall.
Yeah.
Today or tomorrow.
Final podcasts for Mark and Charity today. Thank you very much for all of your support over the years.
What are you talking about? What did you do that you think we're not going to do another one?
We're going to be turning professional on the charity golf circuit.
You may be.
Following yesterday's amazing display of Black
Mark
Bear Ridge.
Philman and Paul Martin were on friggin' fire yesterday.
And you say that like you weren't contributing, which you clearly
Well, no,
were.
I have had better rounds of golf, and you know that because you've seen it. I played much better when we were at Randell with the with VIQ than yesterday. But I didn't have to play well yesterday. Like, you guys really stepped it up. Like, it was. I know what you're going to say. Yes, I had a really nice putt on one hole, and I had a really nice drive on another one. But the rest of the time, and I'm totally okay with it, I pretty much sat in the cart. Because I'm sorry, you powerhouses, when you're on the fairway and they like kill it, so we're on the green, why am I going to lose a ball trying to get, or just knock it a couple of feet? I would much rather wait until we're on the green than I'll putt.
But maybe you inspired us so that when you left with a few holes to go, oh no, wait a minute, we birded the last four. Anyway, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
And then Mark's a jerk.
It was a good time. Raised good money for Habitat for Humanity
was a lot of
yesterday.
Fun.
The steak dinner was great.
Yes.
I ended up with a door prize, and I never win raffle prizes, but I think I was the only one in it.
Was it one of my tickets or one of your tickets?
I don't know the answer to that because I bought 10 tickets.
Because as you just said, I
had 2 tickets.
I did leave early and I left you.
2.
Oh, because he didn't stay either for the dinner, did he?
Yeah.
So it could have been Paul's.
And I put them virtually all in the same one.
We brought you good luck.
Yeah. So if you want the picnic prize pack, you can have the picnic prize pack.
Picnic. Well, good for you.
Yeah, that was good.
As you should, because you did stay. I did leave early. My son was sick, and Paul left as well. So you deserve it, Mark.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I deserve
After
it,
that
but
and I'd never golfed Black Bear. It is beautiful.
Isn't it a gorgeous golf course?
It is hard. It is incredibly hard, but it is really, really nice.
And now, just off the top of my head, I'm going to say something. If it's wrong, I don't mean anything maliciously. Now, picture that area with 1,700 homes. Like that whole area, not just the golf course, right? This is all about to become its own community in the next decade or so.
Which is such a shame.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be really something.
Because there's homes already.
Yeah.
Scattered throughout the golf course, and I made that comment, like, who lives on a golf course? Like, it can't. It must be like, I thought, because it's a resort too, right? So I thought maybe they were Airbnbs or places to stay. You can buy a golf package and stay in golf, kind of thing, which is fine. And there are only a handful, beautiful homes.
Yeah.
But to think when you put that number attached to it, that is such a shame because it is beautiful country.
Yeah.
It's out in the middle of nowhere. Like, you feel like you're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, for Belleville. Toronto would be like, no, you're just right there. Yeah, I know, but for us, any amount of trees and grass. But you feel
when you're on the course, you feel like you're in the middle of nowhere. And the views are spectacular. So
beautiful.
You just see the top of trees at some of the points. And
you took great photos with your phone.
That's really a shame if they built that all up.
Yeah. Well, but it'll still be beautiful about it. I mean, I think it's going to be great. I'm hoping, anyway.
I hope so.
Yeah. So
it's a nice spot. Anyway, we had a lot of fun. The volunteers and the organizers who put it all on. Incredible job.
Bill, the general manager, staff, volunteers, Habitat, Home Builders Association, all great. So that was great yesterday. Thank you very much.
And it was sold out. I understand. It was 144 golfers yesterday. Like, they sold out, which was awesome.
Full golf course.
And only the second annual. So looking forward to next year.
Yeah. So that was really good. The other reason why it's our final podcast is it's $64 million in the gold ball dropped 649, and I am feeling lucky.
All right. Well, I'll keep my fingers crossed for you.
Okay, because I'll buy you a fridge.
Don't forget to share the wealth when you win the $64 million.
Yeah.
Did you say you buy a fridge?
I'll buy you a fridge.
Thank you.
Because I know. They're expensive, right?
Oh, my God. So we're looking at replacing our appliances, which we've never done. We've been fortunate enough when we bought our house, the appliances came with it, and they were a fine working order. And they owe us nothing, literally nothing. But now it's getting to the point where, okay.
Boys are growing, right?
We can't. Yeah, we need to do something. So we went and looked at appliances recently. Wow.
Sticker shock.
Wow. I went in incredibly naive.
Sorry, Where are the fridges that are $3.99?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I figured the fridge would be the big cost.
Sure.
And it was. But we were looking at dishwashers and stoves as well. We thought, okay, well, we'll do it all. And yeah, I'm like, okay, yeah, you know what? Dishwashers are maybe a couple hundred. Sure, okay.
Sure, yeah.
New stove, yep. Know that it's pricier, okay. Maybe 1,000. And then the fridge will be a bit more than that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say. No.
Where are your $3.99 fridges? We stored them in 1988.
Exactly.
That's where those are.
And that's the other side. My fridge. I love our fridge. It is so old. I hear the energy being sucked out of it on a daily basis. Like it kicks on. It's like one of those.
Yeah.
And then you hear it. And it runs. And it is quite a joke. But I love it. And I know as soon as I replace it, and it's got like the metal shut, like it's
Sure.
very well built.
Oh, yeah.
It is a tank. It is a tank. I will not get one as good as that. I know. As soon as I replace it.
Yeah.
I've never, knock on wood, I've never had to fix any of our appliances. They've never broken down. They've never had pieces like stop working, and we really have not. The maintenance has been nothing on these.
Yeah.
And that's going to change too.
That concerns me about the smart fridges because everything that breaks is computerized. And that ain't cheap or easy to fix.
Oh, I was amazed going in and looking at some of these fridges. What they can do. I'm like, it's a fridge.
Yeah,
I don't need it to talk to me.
Yeah.
But they do. Some of them will, like it's AI. It's, oh my
Well,
gosh.
you get the app, right? And you're at the grocery store, you can hit the app and either a camera goes on, you can see in your fridge, or it'll tell you whether you're in need of milk or all this kind of stuff.
And the screen on the front, get rid of sticky notes. It's a touch screen, so you can write on it. It gives you the weather. You have it connected to your phone. Everything on your phone is now on the screen of your fridge.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. I know. But the time's coming when we'll wonder how they ever did without it.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
So anyway, that's 2 reasons why it's probably not going to have a podcast tomorrow. Unless
Went
I don't
on a tangent. So if you buy me a fridge, Mark, I thank you. I will. I might get the smart fridge.
I'll get you a smart fridge. Right? Sure, for sure.
Because I'm not buying it.
Brushed brass with some really good-looking color.
I like the black stainless steel.
Oh, yeah?
It's pretty sharp.
Yeah, stainless steel's nice. No fingerprints,
sharp,
all that stuff. Double doors, fridge, and
pull-out freezer on the bottom. Oh, yeah.
That is living right. That's what that is.
That is.
Anyway, that's going on. Today, middle of the week, Constable Jonathan Gardner was on the show. He of CN Police, because it's Rail Safety Week. They call it Off the Rail. And, of course, that's always what our show's about.
Tends to happen.
But off the rail is
and
also
podcast.
a safety concern. It's not the trails off the rails. It's that we are to stay off the rails. They're a big part of Galaxy of Games this week, providing the prizes and some of the trivia questions that they've got. So we had him on the show this morning to talk about rail safety, the importance of staying off the rails, and why if you do, we could run you some fines or jail time. Constable Jonathan Gardner.
We tried to do something different, so generally we stick with school presentations, interacting with the public, trying to get the message about railway safety out there, because the railway is a very dangerous place to be around, especially if you're not trained to be there. So why we called it the Off the Rails radio competition was it was catchy, it would get people's attention, and by going a different direction, as partnering with yourself at 95.5, we could get the message about railway safety out to the entire community about how dangerous the railway can be to be around and the safety measures you should take to be there.
And it is so important, especially, I would say, Belleville's very unique in the sense that we have a lot of trains. So I would think this, especially for this area, is very important to get the word out.
Yes, we have the VIA trains are moving through the corridor, probably 20 to 30 trains plus a day. plus the freight trains that are working through the yard just on the east side by Airport Parkway as well. So we do have a large number of locomotives, both freight and passenger, moving through this area. So it's very important for us, both on the police and on the management side of CN itself, to make sure we're just pushing that message of being safe in and around the railway and in and around crossings.
Because a lot of these tracks, too, are through residential areas.
Right.
Yes, they are. A lot of our tracks do run through residential areas, and what's happened with that is that the railway's been there for a large number of time, and it's that the city is continuing to grow and populate around the area, so we want to make sure we're being safe and we're interacting with the local public in that area as well.
Absolutely.
Constable Jonathan Gardner of the CN Police. It is Rail Safety Week, off the rail radio competition program that they've got. And but it's always been almost like romanticized when you see them in movies walking down the railroad tracks. But now with people want to take a shortcut, people have earbuds in. Like it's not like it was before.
And I always think of Stand By Me.
Yeah.
And that scene of the four boys walking along the tracks.
Yeah. It's like, oh no, that's the freedom. No, that's not safe.
It's not.
No, and actually a quick story on that just to let you know. Well, I was actually responding out west when I was stationed there to trespassers in and around a railway trestle, just like that movie Stand By Me. I had already gotten clearance from the Rail Traffic Control Center that there was nothing moving in the area, and I got caught between the train moving. And I had to move to the outside of a trestle. And those trains actually they create a vortex that can actually suck you underneath.
Oh my
just
gosh.
for the speed and weight they're doing. And you can't hear them when they're coming up behind you, especially if there's a crosswind. So we have a number of people seriously injured and that do die in and around the railway. A big problem we do have these days is people doing those romanticized photo shoots with their children or with their spouse, saying, oh, I'm going to take a nice photo shoot on the railway. Well, when they do that on a bend or something like that, they're actually taking their life into extreme risk because these trains can't stop and they can't turn. Some of our trains, just as a skill testing questions we provided, they can take up to 2.4 to 2.5 miles to stop. In full emergency braking.
Yeah. It's not like they can just step on the brake and boom, a few seconds they're stopped.
Yeah.
Like they have a lot of weight behind them.
Some trains are up to 2.5 kilometers in length,
Wow.
Yeah. Now, you use the word trespassers.
Yeah.
Railways are not public property.
No. So all railways, especially Class 1 railways, are private property that are owned and operated by the individual company. So they are considered private property. Under the Railway Safety Act, Section 26.1, you can be fined a maximum of $10,000 and see up to 6 months in jail or a $615 ticket if you are found trespassing on railway property. The actual word of the offense is enter onto land in which a line work is situated. Now, we also have the Petty Trespass Act into the province that we can use as not to put such a huge financial burden on the people who do and are found trespassing. But that's why we focus so much on education, educating the public in and around the railway about the legalities and the safety concerns that come with it.
So where is a safe way or a safe place to cross them?
The only legal and safe place for someone to cross it is either at the bridges that go underneath a railway area, over top, or at a crossing. And it's only safe to cross it when the crossing is completely deactivated, no lights are sounding, no bells are sounding, and the arms are completely raised up.
And I know it sounds silly and I chuckle, but yeah, if those arms are down, that's not a precaution. Well, it is, but it's not there just for show. Like, you don't try to go around them.
No, absolutely do not go around the gates. Do not proceed through an activated crossing when the lights and bells are activated. And even if the lights and bells are still activated and the arms are raising, you have to wait till they're completely off and shut down before you proceed through. And the reason for that is because we have multiple tracks through our city. So what happens is if those bars are raising, but a VIA train's coming in the other direction that you can't see, all of a sudden you're putting yourself at risk in your vehicle or as a pedestrian.
Yeah, because it might look like there's nothing coming, but if the arm's down, there's a reason why that arm's down.
100%.
I've seen enough of those videos on people that wait, like literally look like they're just going to miss the caboose or the last one as they step out and a train's coming the other way.
Oh my gosh.
Not fooling around. Constable Jonathan Gardner, off the rails, everybody. Rail Safety Week. Thank you, sir. We really appreciate your efforts.
Thank you very much, and I hope everyone else stays safe around the railway this week.
Again, it seems like something that's pretty straightforward and you don't, like, you should know better. But listening to him talk, there were moments where it was like, oh yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't do that. That makes sense. We shouldn't be walking along the tracks. Or as he mentioned, the photography. And again, one of those moments where it's like, yeah.
And people do it. I've seen
Of course they do.
TikTok videos of
beautiful.
trains that have hit people.
You've seen the videos of them getting hit?
Like somebody's standing there trying to see how close they can get to a train and film themselves. And then you just see, boom, they're gone and the phone's on the ground. So what happened?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I've seen those. So what?
Well,
what
he talks
happened?
about the vortex, right?
Yeah,
Of
I
it
think that's
pulling
what
you in.
happens.
My dad, my dad grew up in Horde Station, and the railway tracks used to run through Hordes because there's a feed mill too. So it would stop, the train would stop. I remember it running through Campbellford, but it's all been lifted and now it's a walking trail.
Okay.
But the tracks would run through Hordes to the feed mill, get the feed, and continue on. There's a bridge. There's the creek in Horde, so there was a bridge. He talks about as a kid, because I used to swim off that bridge, waiting until the train would hit the edge of the bridge before they jump off, like beating the train.
Right.
I'm like,
yeah.
are you and you're
Yeah.
giving me trouble
Yeah.
for doing the stuff I'm doing? But yeah, that's what they used to do at kids. They'd wait as long as they could. They'd play chicken with the train
Yeah.
before they jump off.
Don't tell your parents.
Like it's.
I don't want to know. Yeah.
But I think again, it's that mentality. You do need to be reminded. Wait a minute, this isn't somewhere you play. You don't play on. These are big machines, and it might look like they're going slow, but they're not going to be able to stop. So
One of the things we had this morning is on average in meters. This was our trivia question this morning on the high-low game. In meters, how long does it take the average freight train, if it hits its emergency brakes, before it comes to a complete stop? And the answer is 2,000 meters. That's 2 kilometers.
2 kilometers. So guess what? They're not going to see you 2 kilometers away and
Yeah.
put their brakes on and be able to stop. Chances are, if they see you, you're a hell of a lot closer.
Right. Or your car, or
So-
you, or a bike.
Yeah.
Or, heaven forbid, we hear about people that walk around with earbuds and stuff.
don't hear the train coming.
They don't hear the train coming. And it's just a shortcut, to get around to something. You're only walking a few hundred meters or half a kilometer just to cut around because you don't want to walk out, like whatever. Because as you greatly pointed out, and it's so true in Bellevue, you can't go anywhere without hearing trains.
No, you hear them all the
Because
time.
we're right along the Bay of Quinte. We're right along the 401. We were basically founded because of the water, and the trains came in abundance after that.
What did Constable Gardner say? 20 to 30 passenger trains
Passenger a day.
And then the freight trains on top of that.
Yeah,
So-
which are constant, and there are double lines along Moira Street, and of course, and it continues up and crosses over Dundas, and we have Ottawa runs, and Montreal runs, and Peterborough runs, and Trenton, and it would stop by cold storage to pick up apples. There used to be train tracks there, and that got lifted because of the ships would come in, drop them off, put them on rail, and off they go. And so we were all founded with that kind of infrastructure, and so as you pointed out. But now there are houses there. Used to just be railroads, like
and now
Airport
residential
Parkway.
areas quite often surround them.
So to go to school, buses got to go over them. You got to walk over them, like super, super safety. And I remember there's a woman in town, and she shall remain nameless, but she was gravely concerned because if a train stopped, and it was a long enough train,
yes.
you could be, quote unquote, trapped down by the water, and
Yep.
you couldn't get to the hospital or anywhere if the train stopped. There's no way you could get up to Dundas. What happens if there's an emergency? What happens if fire had to get in there? What are we going to do if a long train stops and you're
Because
down?
it has happened.
Sure. And you're down around the water area. Think of all the entrances down there. It's like, oh, yeah,
Yep.
you're not getting there from Foster Avenue. You're not getting there.
And it may sound silly, but there have been trains
yeah.
long enough stop down there.
Yeah. That's
To
why
block
it comes
the
up.
entire- yeah.
Yep. And then somebody has
Every
a medical
street.
emergency. How are we going to get an ambulance down there?
Exactly.
You can't. What are we going to do about it? This is a railway kind of town. And so that was just so great to remind us, because you think it can't happen to us, and of course we're not going to do anything. But that's why they're called accidents. Nobody ever sets out to think that this little thing whatever, it's just a quick little detour. No.
Well,
So,
and
be
try to
safe.
keep in mind too. Yes, I know it's frustrating, and you may have somewhere to be, but you know what? It's not worth it.
No.
Just stop and relax. The train will move on. You got to remember too the people driving
Oh
these
my
trains,
gosh, yeah.
because they may not see you 2 kilometers out, but when they do see you, they can't do anything. So think about the position they're now in, and they have to live with it. They have to carry that now because you were on the tracks and you weren't supposed to be.
Not supposed to be. Not their fault.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's tragic. It really is tragic when those quote unquote accidents do occur. So be smart. Just stay away from them. And as you pointed out, and as Constable Gardner mentioned too, it's not public property. Like it's private property.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be on them to begin with.
You're
like
a
it's
trespasser.
trespassing.
Yeah. So that's great. Join us for Galaxy of Games tomorrow for your chance to win some prizes. And then they've got a week-long prize pack set up, including...
And what a prize pack.
Prepaid cards.
$600 prepaid Visa card.
Yeah.
And teeth whitening.
Teeth whitening. Come on now.
Which also is a great prize in itself. It's
CN Police, how long have they been?
Oh, I did know this. I saw that.
Patrolling the tracks on behalf of Canadians for safety.
Well, the railway's been around for quite some time.
Yes.
I'm going to say close to, if not 100 years.
CN Police, 100 years right
Has
now.
it 1923? I would say even more, actually.
Currently celebrating its 100th year, responsible for the safety of the communities through which CN operates.
Good for them.
Shared responsibility. It is an international police service with police officers serving in both Canada and the U.S.
I never knew they had a police force.
So Constable Jonathan Gardner, if he suspects anything on trains either coming into Canada or leaving Canada to go to the U.S., would have jurisdiction in the United States. That's what that means. It's a shared responsibility. So that's cool. So if you think smuggling or anything, cops on both sides are all over.
Would you come up the same way, do you think? Like, do you think it's a branch of police service, or is it a specific, like if you want to be a police officer, do they ask you, okay, do you want to be a train? Do you want to work in that? Like, I'm just trying to, I'm wondering, how do you become a CN police officer?
Other than applying, you mean?
Yeah.
Right. Like what training?
Like, is it?
When we were talking before we recorded, I don't know if you caught it, but he mentioned that when he was in the service, so he's military.
That's right.
He's got a military background, and from that moved into constable policing for military. So if you think like it, let's say, and we don't know anything about him, he's listening to the podcast right now going,
you guys are,
you guys are speculating like crazy. But let's say he was at CFP Trenton, so he understands logistics and transportation.
Yes.
What's more likely than to move to CN and do trains? Like planes, they have a schedule, they have safety and maintenance, they have infrastructure. So rather than do crime, I'm just going to move over to CN.
Do you join CN? Do you apply to CN and then through CN become a police constable? Or do you apply to be a police officer and then through police become
maybe both
CN constable?
Maybe there are many paths.
That's
out there right now is a 9-year-old.
I didn't realize they had their own specific
force. Yeah. Yep, they do. We're celebrating 100 years this year.
It's pretty awesome.
Keeping us safe and looking after the train. So that was great. We really appreciate that today. Coming up tomorrow morning, Throwback Thursday, we are working toward the harvest moon.
Somehow,
and the end of September.
Again, you did something to
I've done nothing.
Sway this.
Oh, I don't know why you think I hold such power. That I do. Neil Young's Harvest Moon is winning at the time of recording, and that's Team Charity.
I really didn't think it would.
Team Charity's got Neil Young. I've got Green Day.
Yeah, Team Charity's not Team Mark.
What? How did you guys let that happen?
We came up with the theme of fall, end of September.
Yeah.
And you immediately went Green Day. Like, you didn't even hesitate. You're like, I'm taking Green Day.
I love that song.
Like, okay, I guess I'll take Neil Young. Now, that isn't a great song, but it took some, I'd say, scraping maybe, or some research, some digging to find that song, to go up against Green Day, because I thought it'd be a sweep. I thought, okay, fine.
Free Fallin'. We did Fall at Your Feet and Free Fallin' last year.
Yes.
Week. So we thought this year we'd get into something a little bit more harvesty and September-y. And I think
it's a better Green Day.
Yeah, with Green Day. They can't lose, can they? Voting up on Facebook. Get your votes in on that winning song. We'll play tomorrow morning after 8 o'clock.
I think you've done something.
I didn't
because you did that. This is what happened last week.
No.
With Scandal and
Night Ranger?
Night Ranger.
Well, but Night Ranger's such a good song.
Because you made it out to be, no, I'll pick something so Scandal wins.
Right.
And then it didn't. And Mark was like,
Oh, what do I know?
I don't know. And then you pick Green Day this week, and I'm like, that's totally going to win.
Shock for me. I don't know.
And I picked Neil Young, and I'm ahead. So you've done something.
No.
You've set me up again.
Nope.
You've made me so paranoid.
Good run tomorrow. Also, tomorrow is national, local, I don't know, coffee day. I don't know how far and wide it goes for the Alzheimer's Society. McDonald's is hitting it out of the park. 50 cents from everything hot tomorrow goes to the Alzheimer's Society.
World. Tomorrow is World Alzheimer's Day.
Yes.
So to celebrate and raise money, they've teamed up with McDonald's where 50 cents from every hot beverage sold tomorrow at McDonald's. Here in the Quinte area, going to the local Alzheimer's Society.
Charity and I are going to be at one of the drive-thrus tomorrow on Dundas up at the Bayview Mall. I don't know. And
I'm already practicing with you. No, you cannot get in their car, Mark.
But they have change.
No, you can't go through their window.
But they invited me.
You need to respect boundaries and space.
They said they're going to take me somewhere.
No.
We're just going to go for a ride and have fun.
No.
Stranger danger.
Yep. Not
Get out
okay.
of the car. Why do I do this with him?
I don't think they actually asked you, Mark.
They've got the tapper things too, which is
they
so
do the
cool.
squares. I couldn't remember the name of it. But yeah, you can tap
codes
now.
And other stuff.
What was it? 5, 10, and 20, I think.
Yeah,
makes it so much easier.
Go to McDonald's. You're going anyway. Extra change or tap, and Alzheimer's Society locally is going to get the money for their very, very many programs.
And important.
Very important. As we age, we're all living longer. Well, we're starting to find out our bodies are that maybe our faculties can't live to be 100 without having programs to learn how to train our brains to be that old. And until we can do that, we need programs to support those people and their family members who care for them. And that's why tomorrow's so important.
Very, very important. Looking forward to it. It's always a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So we get to, as Mark likes to say, hat ass around a bit tomorrow
ass hat or not
hat ass.
Just go ass hat around up at McDonald's.
We'll ass hat around more so than in the show. Thank you.
Yeah. And Brianne Matthews is going to be on the show, too. Senior Vice President of the Belleville Senators. It's a full program tomorrow. 1 month away from their opener.
Yes, a lot of fun.
You know why you need to get tickets? Because you're going to get a cowbell. Mm-hmm. You're getting a cowbell. You're going to get to see Sokolov's great hair. Because I've already told her, don't let him cut his hair.
They just reached a deal with him, too.
Yeah, they've signed him.
So he's around for a bit, guys.
Third season. Yep. He's been a fan favorite since game one.
Good.
And here's the thing I'm really hoping for him. I hope he's not here all year. I hope he gets his shot.
Gets called up, yeah.
Hope he gets his shot, because it seems like, I think he got called up once last year, but it always tend to be kind of the older ones. You know, it's like everything else, you pay your dues. Yes, if you can be a superstar, but he led the team last year in scoring, and he'll get a look.
That's the tough part, right? Because you start to really enjoy watching. Like, you see them here, and you get behind them, and it's great to see them, and you want them to succeed. Yeah. But it's always hard when they go.
And you buy a jersey when they go.
But they're just moving to Ottawa.
Right.
It's not like you can't continue to watch them.
You got a Drake Batherson Belleville Senators jersey, you wear it.
Exactly.
Because he's got it.
And you can say, I
Thomas
saw
Shabbat,
him.
Right? Yeah.
I saw, And it's so true. I see my parents, and they watch Ottawa just as much as they watch Belleville. They are season's ticket holders. And they do. They get excited for these guys because it's like, we saw him just a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
So now we're cheering for him here. So it's bittersweet, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
In the last couple of seasons, the goaltenders have been standing on their heads up in Ottawa.
Oh, my gosh.
And then it'll be like, you ship them down here for a Wednesday game. Saturday night, they were the second star on Hockey Night in Canada, and there he is, and for $25 I'm watching him play Utica.
Fortunate.
Oh my gosh.
So lucky to see them.
So good.
Such an opportunity. If you're a hockey lover, so much fun.
CAA Arena will be rocking the 21st of October with the season home opener against Laval.
So get your tickets now. You can get your single game tickets, or you can season tickets still available, even though Brianne said
of 80%.
Yeah,
so
that's
good.
Awesome.
So we're ready for it this year. It's a big show tomorrow morning with Mark and Charity Mornings here on 95.5 Hits FM. Enjoy your day on the Nelson's birthday.
Thank you.